What's up? We're back. Clunker connoisseurs of clunk, horrible car enthusiasts. I'm Max,
I'm Ross.
and we just bought another absolute gem of a heavily used vehicle. What is that? 2010?
2011.
2011 Toyota Camry. 170 something thousand miles. Supposed to run and drive pretty good. The front bumper's the wrong color, but
Who cares?
who cares?
It'll be nice.
I'm pretty good with a can of spray paint, so we're gonna make it happen.
Supposedly there's nothing wrong with it. That's what they always say, though.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. That's exactly what they said about our Altima and our Saturn Ion, and they are both very much broken. So we'll see. This one's all the way in Canyon City, so I guess I'm hitting the road again because it's close enough that it's not worth transporting, and it's too far to like road trip it and send us both out there to go get it. It's probably about 4 hours round trip, and so Ross is gonna hold down the fort and I'm gonna go get it. We are here in Canyon City. Got the keys for our glorious new Camry. Wrong colored bumpers and all. Oh, there she is. Looks pretty nice. Ross is getting paint ordered for this bumper, so we're gonna get it painted as soon as we get back. Fairly clean overall. Will it start? Ooh, the interior is super clean. Oh, I love that. Oh, and it sounds great. Little power steering pump whine, but that's okay. It's got an ABS light. We knew that. About 174 on the miles. But it sounds great. I mean, it's a Toyota. These usually run pretty good. So we're gonna get her loaded up and get some pictures of the paint code and kind of see if it's gonna need anything else that we should have Ross order. So it's waiting there when I get back. It's probably about 2 hours back to the shop, but this thing looks pretty good. So we're gonna see. Hopefully this will be a quick, easy flip because the last couple were not quite so easy. Made it back to the shop. Got the Camry inside. It's about to start pouring rain, which isn't ideal because if you can see, the bumper's just like a eBay plastic, bumper cover you just order and have shipped to your house when you crash your shit. And so I was planning on painting it. Ross went out and got some color match spray paint and some clear coat. This is for the Nissan, don't worry about that. And so I was gonna paint the bumper, but that might not happen today if it starts raining. Anyway, I consider myself pretty good with a can of spray paint. So we're gonna see how we can do with just some Napa brand color match spray paint and some good quality clear coat and see how it turns out. We've done this in the past and it usually works pretty well, and it's close enough that we still have to disclose that we painted the front bumper and that it's been replaced, but most people don't ask a lot of questions. If you don't know what you're looking for, the color match spray paint that they custom mix for you at Napa, they do a really good job, and usually the color's pretty close that if you don't know what you're looking for, most people don't even notice that it's been painted. So the most important part of painting, you can see I've got the bumper off. I've already wiped down half of it. It's just glass cleaner, still wet. The most important part's prep. Even if you're painting it wrong, if you prep it and do a decent job prepping, it's gonna come out okay. So this bumper's been on the front of the car for a while, completely unpainted. So probably end up sanding it and priming it instead of just going ahead and painting it, because there's like some rock chips and stuff and like a bunch of bugs I got to scrape off the front. But if we prime it too, it should look pretty good and kind of help fill in like a little bit of those small little low spots from like all the rock chips and stuff. This thing's probably been on the car for 10,000 miles. Actually, I'm sure we can find out. It's in the auto check the last time it was crashed, and I bet that's where this came from. All right, we've got the first coat of paint. This is the alley behind the shop.
I love it.
Welcome to our backyard. Looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. That's only one coat, no clear coat, so I'll probably do a couple more coats and then clear it, and it's gonna look
Awesome.
It's gonna look really good.
I guess it's easier to match gray. We've gotten a bunch of colors from Napa in this same way, and this is the closest one by far.
Yeah, we had a red on a Subaru. That one was meh, and then a gold on a Prius.
The red sucked more than the gold, I think.
Yeah, the red was the worst one, I
Pretty
think.
bad.
But the Prius came out pretty good. Well, I just came out of a meeting about an hour and a half with our accountant. I come out here and Ross is balls deep in the Saturn.
Having a nap on the Saturn.
I came out and he was in one of the worst moods I think I've ever seen Ross in before.
This is design. Max was just saying off camera, they spent all this time making like a tool to do the timing.
Yeah, let's show you the tool. So behind, that's the access cover for the water pump. This whole thing is the water pump.
Run by the timing chain.
Run by the timing chain. Down in here, let me see if I can get a light in there so you can see it. You can see the timing gear there. The chain goes around that. And then you have to have that special black tool to hold the timing gear in place so you can replace the water pump without taking the timing chain out.
So you put the tool in, and that's the easiest part of this entire job, is putting this stupid little tool in that they spent all this time engineering so that you could do it without taking the chain off. And every other part of this job is significantly harder.
So our question was, why spend so much time engineering this terrible system for a water pump that's run by the timing chain that you have to have a tool to replace, instead of just putting the water pump on the outside of the fucking engine?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I'm not even that pissed off. I was just sitting in a meeting, but Ross is in a seriously salty mood. So I guess
I'll recover. I need a snack.
he needs a snack, but I guess it's my turn to help now that I'm done. So I'm gonna go throw some gloves on and we're gonna see if we can knock this out so we can actually finally sell this thing. It's a new day. We got the water pump done in this guy. Drives great, cools awesome. No more leaking water pump. And then the old Camry, we've got the bumper finished up, painted, mounted back up, and here I'll show you. It looks great. So check it out. You can definitely tell it's a little lighter than the rest of the paint. It looks worse on video than it looks in person, but overall, not terrible. Came out pretty good for an idiot with a can of spray paint, if I do say so myself. So we got a few appointments on the Camry today, and with any luck, it won't be here at the end of the day. What's up? It's a new day. Last we checked in, there was somebody coming for the Camry. They took it. That bad boy is gone. We did all right on that. We didn't really have to do anything to it.
Nope.
Later that day, we picked up this sweetheart of a Jeep Liberty.
It's not an absolute gem.
Well, yeah, it's like 80%.
80% gem.
80% of a gem.
Yeah.
When we got it back, the thing was overheating like crazy. Come to find out, that was the radiator fan, so we put that in it. What else was wrong with this thing?
It's got this really, really annoying squeal that we cannot track down. It doesn't appear to be brakes whatsoever. We've looked at all the brakes, we've looked at all the wheel bearings, we've looked at everything. We have all the wheels off.
I spent like 20 minutes underneath looking at all the axles and all the drive shafts and seeing if there's anything rubbing or anything falling apart, and everything looks absolutely fucking beautiful. And so the only thing we have left that may be a thing or may not is, you know, inside the rotors, there's the parking brake shoes. When you pull the brake, they go like that and grab the inside of the rotors. Maybe one of the parking brake pads came apart and there's pieces in there rattling around and rubbing on each other.
Possibly. It's not likely.
I think it's 10% chance of it being that and exactly 0% chance of it being the brakes. I just spent this whole afternoon going through everything.
So we don't know. We can't place it.
We have no idea what's actually going on with this thing. Jeep aside, check out this thing. This one probably looks familiar. This is that XC90 we sold to Zach with the V8.
We made him buy it.
Yeah, we made him buy it. I talked him into it.
And he's obsessed. He loves it. You can't get enough of it.
I know, he's super stoked on it, but it was leaking out of the valve covers real bad. And so part of the deal, we'd have to do the valve covers, but he bought all the parts and stuff. And so we're gonna do spark plugs, a few other things on there.
While we're in there stuff.
Because it's gotta come apart pretty far, transverse V8.
It's a pain. It's not hard, but it is convoluted and irritating, but it's not difficult.
Yep. And it's so tight in here because this big engine, small engine bay, you couldn't squeeze a fart in this thing. And now it's like thundering, so we're probably gonna have to go pull all our cars inside so they don't get all hailed on.
It's been a day.
We did get the Saturn all finished up. that thing is awesome. Runs tits.
What you don't know, what you didn't see, is that while we were working on the Saturn, while I was detailing it, I went to extract the front seats because they're really gross, and I was using my little carpet extractor, and the thing snapped in half. It's no good. So it's as is.
So yeah, it's been quite the week. Like our is just breaking, all the cars are shit, and like, you know,
Snap clean off.
our
What are
carpet
we supposed to do with this? It just sprays water now, that's it.
yeah, well, we got a busted carpet extractor, and it's been a whole thing. Nothing is quite going our way this week, but we're not giving up. We're gonna make money on all these eventually.
We're almost there.
Nobody wants this thing.
I think that they're missing out is the problem.
I think they're missing out too. This thing is super nice. We drove it to Greeley to go pick up the Jeep.
Yep, and it did great. It's perfect. We fixed the water pump. It doesn't leak a drop of anything. It's awesome.
Yeah, AC is super cold. I mean, it's a really sweet little car, but nobody wants $3,500.
You literally can't beat that.
It doesn't even have 150,000 miles on it. It's got a new water pump, fresh coolant, all the goodies. Like,
People hate on the Saturns. That's the problem.
I know, but for $3,500, so you're not going to beat
Cannot
that.
beat that.
Well, so here's the passenger side, inside the brake rotor parking brake. So as you can see, these are the parking brake shoes. They go like that when you pull the parking brake. There's the rotor. Everything's intact. Nothing's broken. All the springs are there and in good shape. So it's not this side. Everything's healthy over here. Now we're gonna go check the other side. And there's no parking brake shoes left. So you can see there's no pad material on the metal backing plate for these, what's supposed to be the parking brake shoes. But, oh, just broke the stool. Whoops. But you can see, like, there's no obvious places that is rubbing inside of the rotor. So if anything, there's even more clearance on this side of the parking brake mechanism because there's no shoes on there. So I don't think that's our noise either, even though we should probably put parking brake shoes on it because there's no pad material left. It's just metal on metal. But there's no obvious rub marks, so I don't think this is causing the noise that we're hearing. And there's no rub marks inside the rotor either, so I guess the search continues. So anyway, we're gonna finish up all these projects. That one's done. We're gonna try and figure out what's going on with that, and if we can't, we're just gonna sell it as is, kind of broken. I mean, you know, we do that sometimes.
When we have to.
Yeah, when we have to. The Volvo is not really a priority, but it doesn't take two people to track down a squeak. But I guess it takes more than one, you know. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.